Welcome back, folks. This is CAD Roll Hunter, and we're back with 50 rolls, $100 of Canadian nickels. Welcome back, everybody. This is James, and you're watching my channel, CAD Roll Hunter. And that's right, we got a box of nickels here and our handy-dandy Lighthouse album. This is our 9th episode of our nickel box hunt and album fill. And we got lots of great stuff in the album, but we've still got lots of places to fill. Of course, we would love to get another King George V, but we have lots of spots. Well, we got some 30s that we can get King George VI. We have a lot of 40s and 50s that we still need to get. So there's lots of progress we can make. We've done really well. We've got 80 spots filled in this album of 117 spots. And we've got 4 extra spots for some things that didn't have a space, including one of the many bare bellies that we've gotten and some other varieties that weren't recognized in the spots. We want to see if we can get any upgrades. And of course, we want to fill some of those spots, particularly some of the older ones. So let's see what we can do. That's right, we got us a box of Canadian nickels. Looks like a pretty good assortment of different wrapper styles. There's maybe a couple plastic wrappers. It looks like we've got some bankrolled coins. Those could be ARP, the Alloy Recovery Program, so we might not expect to find anything old in there. But we're not going to know until we get into these rolls, so let's get cracking. Roll number 2, and I got a 1996, and we always want to take a closer look at this. They're hard to tell. This is the 1996. This might be the near 6. There's a near 6 and a far 6, so how close to the D it is. What we're really looking for is the one that has a die chip or a cud right there that makes the 6 look attached to the D. This isn't it, but it's really hard to tell under the naked or with the naked eye. As I pull this one up close, it's not easy to see with my old eyes. And I noticed right back behind there we had a couple of US coins. So we got a 1975 Denver, and then right behind that a really nice looking 2014 Philadelphia. I might hold on to that one and see if that upgrades my collection. Roll number 6, and it's pretty slow going. Our nickel cup has a few additions, and remember that any Canadian nickel from 1981 and earlier is 100% nickel, so I always pull them aside. They're worth at least twice that in Canadian dollars, so I'm holding on to my nickel. I'm hoarding that. Pull you in because we found a pretty nice 2017. It's not in perfect shape. I'm not going to keep it. This is one of the ones you want to find. If you've got it in great condition, you want to keep it. This is the 150 years of Canadian Confederation celebrated in 2017. So this one actually has quite a bit of circulation wear, but you might find this one in good shape. You'll want to keep it. It's a lower mintage than other years, and it's just a beautiful coin anyway, something a little bit different. Roll number 8, another Canadian commemorative nickel. This is the 2005 60 years of victory in World War II, and it's reminiscent of the nickels from the 1940s, the 43, 44, 45 V-nickels that we saw, the Canadian equivalent of the V-nickel, I guess I would say. This one also pretty circulated, not going to keep it, but it's another cool commemorative to be on the lookout for. Very next roll, roll number 9, and we found a much nicer version of this 2005. I think I'll hold on to this one, and it looks like we're going to find ourselves a whole bunch of American coins. I can see a lot of American edges in here, so I think what we'll do is I'll take a look, and if there's anything that's old or interesting, I'll bring you in, but as you know, we can find a lot of American nickels in our Canadian nickel hunts, so I'll let you know if there's anything really interesting. Well, so far we've probably found 4 or 5 in this roll. This is not a scarce find, but it is a pretty nice looking 1992 Philadelphia. And so I think this might be a good one for my personal collection. And obviously it's not going to go, oh, it's a 92 Philadelphia. It's not going to go in our Canadian album, of course, but that's a pretty nice looking coin. And in the same roll, we got a 1980. I'm always looking for the double date variety, probably a die deterioration. And it particularly makes these numbers look a little wider than they should be, rather than really more pronounced doubling. I've seen some with some more pronounced doubling, but I'm hoping one of these days I'm going to find one and capture it on video for you guys because it's a cool find. Got a 1990 under the scope. We're in roll number 13. And we always have to look because our last box, we know we got 3 bare bellies in a trade from Emmanuel's Workbench. And today this is just a normal 1990. There's no bare belly, just the standard edition. But we'll keep on looking because we know they're out there, absolutely. Roll number 17, and we found our first really nice example of a 1970s nickel. This is a 1976. And we'll check to see if this might upgrade the album. It's going to be tough. We found so many really nice nickels from the 70s, 80s, and 90s now. It's getting harder and harder, but you can see the field on this one is pretty clear. That's a really nice example. It might have a few little scuffs or scratches on it, but we'll set it aside and we'll take a look later. Same roll, and we might have stumbled into something here. Here's a really nice looking 1981. You'll see that it's got some circulation wear, but this looks actually pretty nice, particularly the reverse. I'll set that aside and we'll take a look. And in the same roll, there is a really nice looking 1987. Again, not sure if it'll upgrade. We've got some nice ones, but that looks like a pretty great example. Roll number 19, we've got a 1977. It is destined for the nickel jar. It is not in great condition, but it's the low 7 variety. You can see that the 7 on the left is lower relative to this 7 over here. And there's a high 7, which would show the 7 up noticeably above this 7. We're just past the halfway point, roll number 27, and we haven't found any laureate portraits, no King George VI. I'd bring you in because we've just found our oldest one of the hunt. It's a 1968. Not sure if this will upgrade. Actually, probably not. It's got some gunk. It's pretty circulated. But this is the oldest find so far, so we're really struggling today. We found a couple of nicer coins, but we're not doing too great. But you know what? This is what nickels can be like sometimes, that's for sure. I just wanted to take a little break in the action to show you something that just came in the mail for me. I got this from another YouTuber, Dern Coin Roll Hunts. I watched a video, I've got a link in the description below here, where he unrolled a mint roll of 1955 S pennies. He actually offered up one of those pennies if anybody subscribed to his YouTube channel and to his Instagram, PG Knives and Coins. And so I did that. I reached out and he sent me something, and I'm super excited to share it with you because it just is beyond all my expectations. So let me just get everything out of the package here and we'll take a look together. Well, I've got the contents of this envelope out, and this is really incredible. Well, more than I was expecting, but I can see not one, but two slabbed coins and another coin in a bag. So we're going to just take a quick peek and see what we've got. I think I'll start with this one first. So in that package was not just one, but two 1955 S pennies in gorgeous shape. And I put one under the scope here so we can see that 1955 S there, that San Francisco mint mark. And just looking at this pristine field, this is wonderful looking. I'm going to pull this down. It's in a plastic protective sleeve, and I'm not going to take it out of there at this point in time. But look at that wheat penny in just perfect shape, just like it rolled out of the mint. I'm really super excited to see what else we have here. I was expecting a penny just like this. That's what he said he would do. And he has gone so much further already by putting two of them in here. But I'm going to unwrap these and we're going to take a look together. Okay, so I've got this first one here, and we'll just pan down. You can see NGC graded, and it is a Jefferson nickel. And we're probably going to have to flip it over to see exactly what we've got here. This was completely unexpected. I'll flip it. And we can see it is a 1964. Look at how gorgeous that is. And I look up. It is an MS66, a 1964 NGC graded Jefferson nickel, just in phenomenal condition. I'll flip it again to see the Monticello building and look at that field. So this is another coin that Jetta from Dern Coin Roll Hunts got in a mint roll, and he's got some really great videos of going through those mint rolls, and he's selecting the best of those coins to send in for grading. And so what he's really trying to do is to find ones in those mint rolls that might be an MS67 or more, a top pop. So this one didn't quite make it, but an MS66 is still a very high grade coin. These are the first graded coins that I have in my collection. I don't have any up until this point in time, so I'm over the moon ecstatic about this. This is really phenomenal. And this next one, another NGC graded coin, and I'm just trying to find the best way to show you just how perfect this coin looks. Look at those wheat ears. See if I can focus it in well enough when I get close. And I'll flip it over, and it is another 1956. This is a 1956 Philadelphia. This is MS66 red, a fantastic grade. Look at that coin, just amazing. So I have to just say a huge thank you to Jetta at Dern's Coin Roll Hunting for sending me 3 beautiful coins, 2 1955 S's out of that roll that I originally saw, and this gorgeous 1956 that you can also see him opening up mint rolls as well, and this graded MS66 1964 Jefferson nickel. So thank you so much. This was just really incredible. I'll have to find a way to return the favor. That's really fantastic. So thank you for letting me share this with my viewers and bringing some gorgeous coins into my collection. So I thought I'd pull this up on NGC. This is that 1956 MS66 red, and you can see here the population report is that NGC has graded 1,914 of these in MS66 red, but only 202 in higher grades. So this is about as close to top pop as I think I'm going to get. And so this coin, I mean, in real life is just even that much nicer, of course. So I'll pull up the 1964 Jefferson just to see where that sits too. And not to mention the fact that in this grade, this is an almost $50 coin, which is incredible. And looking at that nickel, this is the same story here. Only 231 graded by NGC and MS66, and only 27 in higher grades. So again, this is a really high grade coin here, and 3750. So that's well beyond what I would have expected. So again, thank you so much for sending these to me, and I'll have to think long and hard about how I can return the favor. Roll number 33, we've got another American. It is a 1972. It's not a terrible looking one at that, out of Denver. This is our 20th US nickel. Sorry, our 21st US nickel. Roll number 35, and we are finally going to have our first legitimate find. It's a 1964. This is going to be a laureate portrait. It's got some weird kind of mark on it, but it looks to be in really nice shape. We'll flip it over. Yeah, it's got some kind of stuff on it. I don't know if I can get that off. I'll try to see because the coin itself looks to have some great detail. So let me see if I can clean this up just a little bit. Okay, I managed to get most of that residue off of the reverse, and but not so much on the obverse. There's something a little strange going on with the N. Some of the N looks to be gone, and of course this is a 64. It doesn't look to be the extra water line, but let's put it under the scope and see what is happening with that N. Okay, so we can see where that N appeared faint. It just appears to be some damage. You can see some nicks and scratches, and I think something is sort of worn away at the top of that N. But this coin still has a fair amount of eye appeal. I don't know that it's going to upgrade, but we'll set it aside for the moment. It's our first laureate portrait find in the box after only 35 rolls. We're in roll number 43, and we're actually going to have another legitimate find because there is a reeded edge here right by my thumb, and that is definitely not a Canadian nickel. So let's see what that is. Okay, let's see if we can get that out of there and find out what it is there. Oh, there it is. We have 1 franc from Belgium. Interesting. It is 1975. It's got some gunk on it. I'll see if I can find some information on it. It feels pretty light, but I don't think it's aluminum. So let's see what we can find out on Numista. Okay, I've pulled it up on Numista. It is copper nickel. It weighs 4 grams. And interestingly, these coins were made in both French and Dutch, the two official languages of Belgium. And so this one is the Dutch version with Belgique. I'm not sure if that's how you would say it in Dutch. And the French version would say Belgique with a Q-U-E on the end. So this is the Dutch version of the 1975 Belgian 1 franc. Roll number 44 is going to yield us something because as I laid it down, I got a glimpse of a 12-sided edge. So we're going to have an older one. And it is a Queen Elizabeth Laureate portrait. And it's a 1961. So just our second Laureate portrait, our first with the 12-sided edge. Got a little bit of hope there might be something else good in here. Roll number 46, and I just flipped a coin out of the way to find this beautiful, gorgeous 1967 Confederation commemorative nickel with the hair on it, and it looks to be in gorgeous shape. Look at that. This could be absolutely an upgrader. I'm not sure. I know we have one. I don't think it's nearly in this good condition. That is fabulous. That's probably the nicest one I've found coin roll hunting, to be honest. You can often find them in really great shape because people set them aside, but this one almost looks flawless. Wonderful. Roll number 50 is going to give us back-to-back US nickels. This would be our 23rd and 24th, I think, of the hunt, and they look like they could be a bit older. This one is a 1973, and this one here, a 1974 Denver. Just got a few more to look through. If we don't find anything else, we'll come back with a wrap-up. Well, it actually looks like we'll have at least one more thing to look at. We got a pretty nice looking 1965 here. And what we want to do is look to see if it's the large bead or the small bead. So I'll put it under the scope and we'll take a look and we'll see what we've got. Well, what we've got here is the 1965 small bead. This is the common variety. What we're really looking at is in between the two eyes here for Elizabeth II, the Roman numerals, is there a bead right in the middle? And the other way to tell, I suppose, if you want to count beads, is that the large bead has 138 beads. The small bead has 119, but going around the coin and counting beads is a very difficult feat. But this is a surefire way to see. We would see a bead right in the middle between these two eyes here if this was the large bead. The other thing to look for is whether or not this jewel is attached or detached. The large bead variety has a version where this jewel seems to be floating outside of the tiara, isn't really attached. So that's another thing you can look for. They're both very rare. So we got to the bottom of that box, 50 rolls hunted. It wasn't the most productive hunt. We didn't find any King George VI. We didn't find any King George V, but we did get some finds. So we ended up with 24 US nickels, a couple really nice examples here. I'm going to check that 72 and that 92. We found a foreign. We found 1 franc from Belgium, and this was the Dutch version from 1975. It's got some kind of stuff on it. I'll see if I can clean that up, but I don't think I've got that one at all. And we did find some nicer coins that we can check against the album, particularly that 1967 with the rabbit on it. A really nice 69, an 81, a 76, this 1987. So we'll check those. A pretty nice 2005. I think we have a really nice one on the album, but that one looks pretty nice. And then we did find a couple of older ones. We found a couple of laureate portraits, that 1961 and a pretty decent looking 1964. However, this one also had some stuff on it. So we'll see if it's an upgrade in the album. We'll check them all out and I'll be right back. All right, we had a look through the album, and while it was a bit of a slow box, we did get some upgrades. That 1967 was gorgeous. We've added that to the album. The 69 we got was pretty much a toss-up. It might have been a little bit better, but it wasn't worth swapping it out. But the other ones that we also upgraded were the 1976, so it was better. The one we had wasn't great. As well as this 1981 here on the right. It was definitely better. There were some issues with the one that we had in there. So we've managed to get this album looking quite a bit nicer, even in this box. We're still at 80 of 117 spots in this box.
as well as 4 additional ones that we've got down here that didn't really have slots, including our Bare Belly, and we've got the 2006, I believe that is no mint mark. And so the 96 near and far didn't have spots, and the 77 high and low didn't have extra spots. So we are gonna keep chugging along here, and hopefully in our next one we might find some older ones for those spots that we've got. In any case, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. I always appreciate that. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, CAD Roll Hunter, please do that for more Canadian coin roll hunts and Canadian collecting content. I make videos all the time and post them. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching.